The defense is presenting its case in chief in the trial of a man accused of traveling to Missouri, murdering his online girlfriend's mother, and then fleeing with his girlfriend back home to Wisconsin. 28-year-old Nicholas Godejohn is accused of murdering Dee Blanchard. Authorities found her dead in a pool of blood in 2015. Among the state's final witnesses, a computer forensic analyst.
This one is the search for knives on Walmart.com. That is a specific entry for a specific knife. And eBay.com, that is a search for tasers.
The jury also saw the defendant's jailhouse phone call with a local reporter, where the defendant claimed another side of him took over.
So I did not know what it was capable of until that dark night. Once that night came, I knew fully well what it was capable of. And at that point, there was no time going back, because from the first step I walked into the house, I knew there was no coming back. Unfortunately, I ended up listening to my darker side because I wanted to be with her, and I remember what she said, and I wanted to believe what she was saying, and unfortunately, I should have listened to my other part of me.
The state rested shortly later. Godejohn initially could not decide whether to testify.
I've given it thought.
You don't have to tell me if you're going to now or not. I was just asking if you had enough time to talk with Mr. Perry and Mr. Meade about it.
Not anymore.
The defense immediately called Godejohn's girlfriend, Gypsy Blanchard. She talked about her mother's abuse and accepted most of the blame for the murder.
In June of 2015, were you in a wheelchair?
Yes.
Did Nick know you were in a wheelchair?
Yes.
Why were you in a wheelchair in June of 2015?
Because my mother forced me to be in one.
Were you ill during this period of time?
No, sir.
What illnesses did you believe you had?
Cancer, muscular dystrophy. I needed glasses. I needed hearing aids. Seizure disorder. And I can't remember what else.
And what was your mom doing that caused you to be more desperate?
Things were getting physically and more physically abusive. The hitting was more. The starving was more.
How did Nick know when to do this crime, the time-wise, that morning?
I told him.
Who planned this murder?
I did.
The state fought back, pushing Gypsy to talk about the defendant's role in the crime.
You mentioned that how the murder was to take place, that was all up to the defendant, correct?
That is correct.
And it was the defendant that told you he wanted to stab your mom.
Correct.
And it was the defendant that told you he wanted a knife.
Yes.
The defendant, since it was his idea on how to kill your mom, he also wanted tape and a taser, correct?
Yes.
And he wanted you to get those items for him.
Yes.
When the defendant agreed to kill your mom, at some point he told you that he also wanted to rape her.
Yes, sir.
You did not want the defendant to rape your mom, correct?
No, sir.
And in fact, in leaving the decision of how to kill her up to the defendant, you never told him to stab her 17 separate times, right?
No.
Oh. And you certainly didn't tell him to cut her neck down to the bone, right?
No.
If convicted, Godejohn faces a possible lifetime behind bars. For the Law and Crime Network, this is Aaron Keller.